The Impact Warrior Podcast. This podcast was created out of a vision to have like-minded entrepreneurs who have faced similar battles and understand how difficult entrepreneurship can be. We will feature guests who are here to share with you how rewarding the journey can be if you stay focused and disciplined to achieve the desires of your heart. Every business owner will face a certain level of difficulty at some point, regardless of the industry. And we are here to share with you the story of warriors who have knocked down massive walls to inspire you to keep fighting on this journey. Let's conquer the journey together. And here's your host, Casey Zeman.
Let's go. Paige Kennedy. Mr. Page got food in my mouth while I'm talking to one of my closest friends for 20 years, Kennedy. Can't stop smacking on some food when you're in front of a friend. You can't stop. When you get on video, unless you're auditioning for something, unless you're shooting something, you're gonna throw some food in your mouth. That's your tell. But that's the same way, man. I have my food right here. I need a drink at any moment. That's the same thing. Same thing with me.
The difference in the food. You got like some healthy thing. I got Skittles and the Gatorade.
I know. I got kombucha and then a power bar.
I have popcorn, Skittles, and Gatorade.
But it gets the same results. We just need to get confident and comfortable.
Yeah, right. Same results, my ass.
This gentleman, Paige Kennedy. First off, he's a delight. He is a friend of mine for 20 years. He is also
20 years.
20 more?
Are you mad? We've been here for 20 years.
Oh shit. It's even longer, guys. It's even longer, which is kind of crazy. But he's also an amazing actor, and he's been Blue Mountain State, Weeds, The Meg, and most recently, S.W.A.T. And you see The Meg behind you, and most recently, the Upshaws on Netflix as Duck. And I love him as a human. I love him as an actor. And the reason I thought to have him on this podcast is because I know his journey. I know, I've seen it. I've talked to him about it. I mean, there are a lot of things that I don't know, but
you've been a part of it.
I've been a part of your journey. I've slept
the inception.
Yes. I've been in his. I've slept in his apartment when I didn't have a place to stay in Los Angeles. We go way back, is my point. And if there is anyone who has been faced with like challenges, opportunities, challenges, and has navigated the business and industry of acting in a more refined way, I wouldn't be able to find them. I think Paige, you know what you've been able to do with what with as an actor, I think is really inspiring, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I feel like I know some of the roadblocks, as you say, you've hit, and this podcast is really all about cats and
I don't know why she feels the need when I do this to just come right here. There's so much other places that she could be, but she literally needs to be
just like. And her butt, this is what cats are so weird. They always want to just stick their butt right up in your face.
They do, man.
I don't know
what she thinks I'm supposed to do with that. Anyway.
But listen, I want to talk about you as a human. I feel like you don't give up. Tell me why you have never given up, have never stopped trying, have never stopped pushing forward, because there have been plenty of times when you've been hit and brought down to your knees, basically, but you just don't stop. And I know those moments, and we could talk about those moments too, but But first, I want to talk about what it takes mentally to be able to even just get back up and handle your shit, handle your business, get back up and do it. That's the thing. So can you tell me about that? Like, what is it? What is it about you that makes you, even if you get hit, you get back up? Where does that come from?
Well, first of all, I would like to say, because you are very humble in this, but for everyone listening, you know, I tangentially have Casey to thank for my career, because he was there in the inception of it. And had he not driven me to Sony Studios and went on the lot with me for my first audition, I never would even be in this position, because I didn't have a ride there. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have anything. And this man right here drove me to Sony Studios to pretend like I was a courier. Why would I need two people to make a delivery? I have no idea. But it was pre 9/11, so they let us get away with it. But I thank you for even taking me there. Remember, like we both ended up auditioning for the same thing. And so when I tell my story of how my inception came to be, you are always ubiquitously a part of that story. And so it's just interesting to be able to say it now, like in front of you, because I've talked about you tirelessly in interviews about what happened.
Yeah, so, okay. And I appreciate you saying that, but I have to make it clear, because maybe it hasn't been clarified what actually took place at that time when we were doing all that. So Paige said, "Hey man, let's go. I want to go on with you, and let's be couriers and act like we're mail couriers." Because we first got on because I had the audition, so we drove onto the lot. But then we walked around with the mail courier, like with the headshots, and we acted like mail couriers, right?
No, you got that mistaken.
That wasn't what happened?
No, neither one of us had the audition.
Oh, okay.
Neither one of us had the audition. Don Mackay from the Idaho Shakespeare Festival had met up with me, and he told me about the breakdowns, which I didn't even know what that was. And he saw there was a role called The Kennedys, and it was an aspiring DJ in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one who told me to pose as a courier, which is when I told you that, and you went with me. And when we got on the lot from saying, "Hey, we're here to drop off this package at Deborah Barilski's office," we went to the spot. We gave, we saw there was a casting director and assistant casting director, and I was like, "We want to go to the casting director. The assistant's going to kick us out." The assistant came out of her room and she was like, "Can I help you?" And we were both there, and we were like, "Yeah, we're here to audition for the Kennedys." And she was like, "We're not even auditioning yet. We just got here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I gave her my headshot and resume, and she looked at it and she saw no representation. And she was like, "Are you representing yourself?" I was like, yeah. And then you was like, "Oh, well, here's mine too." And then you gave her your headshot and resume, and she took it, and she basically like kicked us out. And so you were so like embarrassed by that whole situation, because I was like, "Oh, we on the lot now. We could just walk around and start giving our headshots out everywhere." And you was like, "Hey, if you want to do that, you can come back here on your own. Like, I have an agent and it's okay. We're here, but I'm not doing that." But a week later,
this is what I want to point out. Paige, like, you see how I was like, "No, I think we have to go through this channel, this channel, this channel. We have to go through these steps to do that." And I was all embarrassed. But Paige, you are the reason, like you were were like, we're here, let's do this. Like, you didn't have the wall, or you didn't have, nothing was stopping you. And that's the power. Like, it wasn't me. I helped you to get on the lot, and I went with you. In fact, I only partially have some of that. But for me, I was like, oh no, we have to follow these steps. But you were like, screw the steps. I want to bypass all that, get into the studio, start dropping my headshot. That's what I'm talking about. You, first off, there is something about you specifically as a human that was like I don't have a, there's no, like, you know, there's no, I don't, it's almost like you didn't see that velvet rope. You're like, no, I'm pushing beyond that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't live my life in circumspect.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And you live your life like that now. Whereas, like, some of our friends, and we're on this chat together, some of our friends are like, man, I don't know if I should be talking this way to somebody, or do this with somebody, or do that with somebody. But you don't have that. You don't do that. And maybe I'm trying to figure out if it's intentional, if it's a natural instinct of who you are as a human, because that has served you on so many levels for increasing your level of success, you know? And I want more people to be able to absorb, like, I want to inspire people, but when you share your story, to inspire them so they know that they can do these same things, and they can absorb whatever page essence there is, and they can figure out, like, what makes you you, so that they can figure out how to do it themselves. Because a lot of people have that barrier, that natural barrier that they're putting in front of themselves.
I think it takes audaciousness. It takes audaciousness to be auspicious. And I truly believe that, and particularly if you're a certain type of person. So, you know, I think it was intrinsic in me to be that way, because I come from Detroit. I come from the meanest, toughest situations in the world. And I was able to escape it, you know, and it's a survival thing. And so if I was able to escape life there, then coming here in the business is easy.
Is nothing.
You know? It's nothing, because I've seen and escaped death.
Right.
So that same survival instinct transfers over into your everyday life. And so for me, you know, I tell my son this all the time. This is one of the jewels that, and I don't just tell my son, I tell you guys this too.
Mm-hmm.
What do I say? What's my little adage that I say all the time in a group chat to y'all of advice? A closed mouth
doesn't get fed.
Exactly.
Doesn't eat. Mm-hmm.
A closed mouth doesn't get fed. And that's how I live my life. Like, you need help. You need to be able to ask for help. You need to be able to take chances, because if you don't, then you can have regrets. And so for me, I take chances. You know, I bank on myself. I gamble with myself because I believe in it. And that's how you become auspicious. And so, you know, that's what we did. And look what happened. We left Sony Studios that day. I think they called us back in like 4 days to actually come for a real audition that we both got.
Did I go too?
You went too. You went for an audition for the Sun.
Oh, I was the Sun. You were the yeah, right.
You got the audition just like I got the audition. So your part of the story was mixed up, because you were thinking that you had the audition, but you didn't have the audition initially. When we snuck in and we gave her our stuff, then you got the audition, just like me.
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we went back and and then I got called back after that, and you know, the rest is history. But it comes from that fortitude of just going for it, and you know, that's just kind of how I've been in my life and everything that I do. You know, I kind of push the envelope,
right,
and see how far I can go.
and I mean, I think that served you so well, because you know, if you don't ask, you never know. Like if you have to like attack your dreams, I think. And a lot of us, I think we get so consumed about you know, the right channels to go through, and that we don't want to, you know, we worry about so much about what people will think of us, so we don't ask for the things we want in life. And I think what you're saying, your auspiciousness, is that you ask, but and the cool thing about you, Paige, is that you don't just ask, but if you get turned down, you ask again.
Yeah, that's the audaciousness in me.
Yes, like
The
you don't stop.
audaciousness makes me knock on the door. No, you don't want none? All right, I'll come back tomorrow. I'm back. No, you still want none? That's all right. I'll come back next week. It's me again. You know, and at a certain point, whether people, and I do that for everything, like and like that's how I live my life. And so, huh?
I know that. I know.
Yeah. So at a certain point, because listen, people's lives aren't sitting there waiting to help you. They're not sitting there waiting to say yes to you. They are living their lives. So sometimes you need to nudge someone. Sometimes people get busy. Sometimes, you know, they need to see, all right, you are serious about this. Let's all right, fine. Okay, motherfucker, here.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
wore me down enough. But wearing someone down is not a bad thing. I think that's the thing. It's like people don't want to bother other people. They don't want to push for what they want, or their dreams, or what they, you know, what they want to achieve in life, right?
right.
But they need to flex, because if they don't flex, they are not known. They are not perceived. They're not seen if they're not flexing out to where, oh, I see it now. Okay, fine. Let's do this, you know?
Right.
And that's one thing I learned from you. You actually taught me that, because I didn't know it before. I thought I had to go through certain channels. And actually, what's funny is, like, we have a lot of, you know, we focus a lot on business people, entrepreneurs. I think you are one of the best at the business of acting. And I'll tell you why, because, and I feel like you've done it where it's like, you know, you went off book, you went off script. You did not take a certain direction and say, oh, I need to go this way because this is how people normally go. Because if you did that, chances are you would not be where you're at right now. And I think you are one of the best at the business of acting. The other thing I know about Paige is that he's an awesome dad. And he has some of the most loving relationships with his kids that I've seen. And it's not like what you'd assume to be the kind of relationship you'd have with your kids. And that's what I absolutely love about you, Paige, is that the way you and your son, Tim, the way you guys, and Tim is found in tons of, by the way, everybody, Tim is found in tons of like Paige's videos, and what I love is that, like, Paige, you do not stop just being you. So like that's the key thing, I think, is that your authentic self, you push the envelope, you have awesome relationships with your kids, and at the same time, you know, it's gotten you where you are today. So for those who haven't seen it, the Upshaws on Netflix is an awesome show. Can you explain a little bit about your character on that show?
Well, I don't play a dad on that show. I don't know what that transition was for, but I do play.
For me, the only reason I mentioned it was because I think of like you are. I'm just talking about your authenticity. So when I know you as a human and know you as a good dad and know that you are the teddy bear guy. You are an absolute giant teddy bear. So I was just validating what you were mentioning before and doing it through your kids. But why don't you tell me?
Well, thank you for that. It means a lot coming from the type of dad that you are, which is like the quintessential dad you are. I'm an esoteric dad. You are the quintessential dad.
I don't know what an esoteric dad is. You need to explain that.
Like you said, I'm all kilter. I'm not, the things that I'll do or say or how I would relate to my kids would not be the typical way that the suburban dad would do, or
You're saying I'm a suburban dad?
Yeah, of course. You're like a soccer dad.
Wait a minute. You're calling me a soccer dad?
Yeah, like you are like how
I would show up. I show up.
You watch a TV show on ABC, the dad on that show, that's how you are with your kids. Like you're like, what you mean? You're perfect. Like you're like the manual when they teach you when you become a dad. This is how you speak to your children. Like, hey, buddy. Like you're like that. You're perfect. You're the quintessential dad. I'm not that. I'm like different. I mean, it's still the same way. It's still the same love and want for their well-being and to grow to be awesome, amazing people. It's just, done differently. Like yours is done. Yeah. So anyway,
but you would bend over backward for your kids. You would
give. Yeah, I would.
The reason,
but I also like sit your ass down before I put you through this wall.
Yes,
and you would never say that.
I might not say sit your ass down before I punch you through this wall, but I might have a little moment of that. But
you might say, "Hey, buddy,
do you think you could just calm down a little? We're
you want? I'm gonna have to take your things away, your toy."
Hey, I hear what you're saying, and I totally understand. But listen, if we don't do this, then we're not gonna be able to do. No, but
this is not euphemism. This is literally how he would talk to them.
Not true. That's not true. Here's the thing. Like I see you as a dad, and you actually give me permission to be to allow myself to have feelings and speak to my kids like humans, understandably trying to raise them as good humans, but not necessarily that I always have to be like, okay, now let's calm down. Let's just sit down and we'll think about our feelings and talk through our feelings. You can only do that so much. So, no, I still look at you as the quintessential moments.
We learn from each other. We learn from each other. Because when I was watching you and Diana, and I watched the way that y'all deal with Dale, like when she was working me out, she was at work. Dale needed her attention.
Yeah.
Me, I'd be like, hey, if you don't go, she picks Dale up, carries her in her arm, rocks her while she's training me, and you see this, honey, and teaching her too. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What?
I love
and,
that.
and
I
I was
love
like, dang, maybe I should be more patient.
I love
Oh, I
when you
learned
did
from
that
you guys.
because you looked at it and I saw you study it and you're like, maybe I should do like your eyes were
Yeah.
like
I
you
was like,
gained so
wow.
much from that moment.
I
But
was like, this is what you do?
yeah, but
Okay.
I look at how you talk to Tim and I think I like it. It's refreshing. It's refreshing how you have a friend, such a level of friendship as well as fatherhood connection with him.
Yeah, but then sometimes uh that confluence is confusing.
Mm,
Because you
mhm.
know, when things become serious, it forces him to have to separate the two.
Mhm.
So his natural instinct of how he would react, he now has to kind of juggle to see where this is.
Yeah.
Because if he reacts, if I'm being serious and I'm like some kind of way, like
Yeah.
in real bad mode,
Yeah.
um, then and he reacts in a way like how we normally react, that could be bad.
Right. So he has to
So
navigate and know, and that can be confusing. And sometimes he comes at it from that friend perspective, and it's misconstrued, and then things get out of hand. You guys don't talk to
yeah,
each other for a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So that's the drawback of it. But anyway, let me go to this character. I play the character Duck.
Yeah.
He did 7 to 10 in prison because he did a crime with Mike Epps' character Benny, and he took the rap for him because he's very loyal. And he's just getting out of jail, and Mike gets him a job at the shop, and it's them being back together. This character is very fun. He's very earnest and simple. uh you know I, he's funny because of that earnest nature that he has. And it's a very fun role. And when does this come out, this podcast?
Uh, Probably a couple months from now.
Oh, okay. So we also have been picked up for season 2, which
Oh,
is awesome. Um,
yes.
we were
To the Impact Warrior podcast. This podcast was created out of a vision to have like-minded entrepreneurs who have faced similar battles and understand how difficult entrepreneurship
Raise them as good humans, but not necessarily that I always have to be like, like, okay, now let's calm down. Let's just sit down and we'll think about our feelings and talk through our feelings. Like you can only do that so much. So, no, I still look at you as the quintessential in
Well, we learn
moments.
from each
Okay.
other. We learn
Huh?
from each other. We learn from each other
We
because when
learn
I
from
was
each other.
watching you and Diana, like, and I watched the way that y'all deal with
Yeah.
with 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 Dale, like when she was working me out. She was at work. Dale needed her attention.
Yeah.
Me, I'd be like, hey, if you don't go, she picks Dale up, carries her in her arm, rocks her while she's training me, and you see this, honey, like, and teaching her too, and I'm like, what the hell is going, like, what?
I love that.
And
I
I
love
was like,
that.
hey, maybe I should be more patient.
I love
So I
what you
learned
did
from
that
you guys.
because you looked at it and I saw you study it and you're like, maybe I should do like your eyes were
Yeah.
like
I
you
was like,
gained so
wow.
much from that moment.
I
But
was like, this is what you do?
yeah, but
Okay.
I look at how you talk to Tim and I think I like it. It's refreshing. It's refreshing how you have a friend, such a level of friendship as well as fatherhood connection with him.
Yeah,
That
but then sometimes uh that confluence is confusing.
mm,
Because you
mhm,
know, when things become serious, it forces him to have to separate the two.
mhm,
So his natural instinct of how he would react, he now has to kind of juggle to see where this is.
yeah,
Because if he reacts, if I'm being serious and I'm like some kind of way, like
yeah,
in real dad mode,
yeah.
um, then and he reacts in a way like how we normally react, that could be bad.
Right. So he has to
So
navigate and know, and that can be confusing. And sometimes he comes at it from that friend perspective, and it's misconstrued, and then things get out of hand. You guys don't talk to
yeah,
each other for a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So that's the drawback of it. But anyway, let me go to this character. I play the character Duck.
Yeah.
He did 7 to 10 in prison because he did a crime with Mike Epps' character Benny, and he took the rap for him because he's very loyal. And he's just getting out of jail, and Mike gets him a job at the shop, and it's them being back together. This character is very fun. He's very earnest and simple. uh you know I, he's funny because of that earnest nature that he has. um and it's a very fun role. And when does this come out, this podcast?
Uh, probably a couple months from now.
Oh, okay. So we also have been picked up for season 2, which
Oh,
is awesome. Um,
that's
we were top. We were number 1 in the
fun.
country for a couple weeks, and we were top 10 for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's an all African American show, so that's unheard of. So it's a great show. It's a great character. I chose to play a character, which I don't always do. A lot of times my characters are kind of like close to me,
Yeah.
just in the given circumstances. But with this, I put on a voice, a certain way of moving, a certain rhythm in the way I speak. Like I actually like made a character, and so that's been kind of fun to do.
What I like about your character is it kind of reminds me of some of your other characters that I've seen you do, where you do an old man walk and an old man voice a little, but you didn't make this man old. He is your age, but he's like, you want me to? Yeah, it's like, and it's so subtle.
My
The
age
humor
is
of it.
old now.
Huh?
My age is old now.
Uh, but what I love about it is that the character actually is super subtle. Like the way, like you're naturally big funny. You can do big funny.
Yeah,
This
that's
character,
my fun thing. Is I like big
yes,
funny,
this
but this
character
character,
is like quiet funny, and it's like pause funny, like
right?
and I love that you take those moments in this with this show and in this character. You're like pausing and taking that moment.
Yeah,
It's just
and he
making
kind
it,
of talks slow.
yeah. hmm it's a good character. Now let's talk about this. So now is this known that the Meg 2 is coming out?
Yeah.
Is shooting, right? So
Yeah.
okay. So if you guys know the Meg, um, Page was in it, and his character was a scientist in it, right? Like a marine biologist, I think.
Yeah.
And now you've come back for the second movie, which is going to be shooting next year, right? The beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how different is that character compared to what they've told you? How different is the character from the first Meg compared to the second Meg?
Well, I haven't read the script yet, but they did say that because since then I had lost weight, a lot of weight, and I had gotten in a much better shape. Which by the time we do that, I need to get back in that much better shape because I'm starting to look like the character that you already saw. So
That's not true. That's not true.
So with that, they adjusted DJ's character, and they ascribe it to the turmoil that he went through caused him to now want to train and be more better prepared for the possibility of things to come.
So and I guess you'll see when the script comes out if he's going to be this action hero or not. But Paige, you lost like 100 pounds, right? How much did you lose when you went through?
I did at one point lose 100 pounds, which was incredible and awesome. And
I know how hard you work to get there too. And I thought that was amazing that you got to a point where, you were like, I can't, this cannot be my reality anymore. And you did something about it. And I know the time and energy you put into like, change eating habits. Like I know all the intermittent fasting that you did, like everything. And so, so congratulations on coming through to that. So now what's cool is that this character is going to reflect that change as well, and I'm hoping I see you as an action hero, just like kicking ass.
Yeah, me too. I for me, like I can't walk around like you walk around fit. I can't walk around fit because I enjoy pleasures of life. I enjoy doing what I want to do, and I enjoy eating the way I want to eat. And so for me, I'm going to perpetually, I'm going to perpetually seesaw. I'm going to go up and down because when there's nothing directly in front of me to prepare for, um, you know, I'm a little more lax. But then I get laser focused when I see a deadline. Like when I know, okay, this date I have to be prepared for such and such. I can hone in on that and be ready and prepared for that. And since right now I don't have anything that is pressing me in this moment, you know, I'm still working out, but I'm not like fully watching what I eat, which is causing me trouble,
Well,
and so
how do you create always how do you create like a personal goal deadline for yourself constantly? You know what I mean? Like, is there a way to do that where you're like, you can create those like, oh, that's what I'll focus on for this month or something like that, and look at it like that? Like, is
well,
there?
that's a struggle that I have because, you
Mhm.
know, my deadlines come from real things, like if I know I gotta shoot this month of something, that's like a real thing that I have to work for. If I try to just concoct something on my own that is not even real,
yeah,
then that's harder for me to be dedicated to. So it's tough, man. I wish I could be like you, or like Dom, or like these other people who just kind of walk around and they live their life. They live a lifestyle that is just healthy all the time, and so they always just look the same way. But I just
what if I now, because I know you have a trainer, but like I've been thinking about this, like doing, I know you don't want to do these things, but what if we did like an obstacle course and you needed to do it every month, and you needed to get ready for it every month? There was this thing that you needed to do, like a race or a Tough Mudder or something. Would that keep you like, would you look at that as, oh, I need to get fit for this? Like, I know it's all about,
absolutely not, because I wouldn't even do it. First of all, I wouldn't do it in the first place. And so second of all, that would never work for me. The only thing that's going to work for me is actual work, like acting work,
acting.
where I have to look some way for it. Because I would just say no to your obstacle course.
So, but what about, like, you're still putting videos up, so you still wouldn't want to do it for your own
Oh
content. You
yeah.
do it for like,
And that's the sad thing, because when I'm not completely happy with how I look, the frequency in which I post new content is apparent. And so for the past few months, I haven't been shooting much real new content because I just can't be bothered, you know. But you can tell when I'm focused, because the pictures, the photo shoots is coming out. I'm constantly with my shirt off in my stories.
yeah,
I'm putting out all these different videos because I'm happy. I got all this
yeah.
energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't feel good, when you don't like like the way you look, it affects you in every way. And so I know you think, well, because it makes sense, right? You're like, well, listen, if the food that you're eating doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make you look good, then why do it? And the answer is because it's delicious. And so I can deprive myself from these things for a certain period of time, but not I can't just go through my life eating green juices and whatever the hell else that thing is that you have.
You need, I feel like we need to get a point where if you start having urges, someone comes over and just slaps you, and
I did a video like that before. I did a video with Tim like that, where every time I grabbed something, he would just skip into the scene and just knock that junk out my hand.
but
And
like,
then at the end,
yeah,
like I like snuck somewhere and I was getting some Popeyes, and he just skipped and came out of nowhere, knocked the whole box into the
yes,
sky. He grabbed the chicken and he bit it himself and then slammed it down.
I have to go
And
watch
then
that video.
it ended with this big booty Asian girl. And I was like, whoo, I'm about to eat the hell out of this. And then he comes into the scene, smacks her on the ass, and then takes her away from me. And I'm like, no.
'Cause, I mean, I feel like pain is the only thing that will stop you. So I don't know. Maybe we should do like an MMA thing where we get you into MMA.
Why, bro? I have a bad knee and I'm old. I'm not interested in doing
I'm old.
anything.
What are you talking about? It's okay.
Yeah, but your
You're an acting
structure is
hero, man.
different than mine. Your structure lives in the 150, 160 area regardless. Like,
True. That's true.
guess when I was 150 in middle school.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But then what? Okay. Where are you now?
I
Oh,
won't even.
you're evidently okay. where were you?
Look, bro.
Where
I
were
will not get on that scale because I don't want to see what is going to be looking back at me. But I will say my kids being here kind of messed me up because they only eat a certain type of food, and when they eat that, it kind of gets me to eat that too.
Nest. Yeah, it's like nesting. You just like you got, and you're in a good place, and I think you have been happy. And sometimes when you're happy, you kind of, you calm your down, like, and you're like, I probably can eat that, and then you just feel unhappy at that point because of the food you're eating. But the rest of life is actually doing. I mean, it looks. I mean, to me, you look happy in the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm in a good space right now. I'm in a good space of things that I have to look forward to. The show just got picked up.
Yep.
Now we're gonna try and see what the situation is with the Meg.
Yep.
I'm working on this book that I'm being texted about that right now. And so I got 3 big promising things. I'm not currently working on another album right now or mixtape, which I should be, honestly. But I'm just not in the headspace to create another musical project as of now because I got like other stuff going on. But I'm in a good space now. I just got to get my eating right and my weight back down, and then I'm gonna be perfect.
To me, we are always battling something, no matter what. We are always battling something. So
always got to battle something to move forward. Otherwise, you're stagnant and you're stuck, and then you're caught in the doldrums.
That's right. So Paige, thank you. I'm going to end it there because like that's what it is. Moving forward, you're always going to be faced with something. Keep going. So thank you, man. I love you. I appreciate you coming on today.
Bro. I appreciate it.
And you guys, there's gonna be show notes in the blog where this is posted. And thanks again.